the two biggest heavyweights in our cosmic neighborhood, suddenly swerving into the exact same orbital lane. Total destruction is locked in. If Jupiter and Saturn collide head-on, could Saturn's hidden arsenal of frozen moons actually even the score? When two massive gas giants merge without a solid surface, what exactly crawls out of the chemical wreckage? And if this pileup ignites a second sun, do you wake up to a brand new sky? Or never wake up at all? This is what happens when Jupiter meets Saturn. Let's rewind to December 21st, 2020. You might remember trying to get a blurry photo of the night sky on your phone. People called it the Great Conjunction. Jupiter and Saturn lined up closer than they had been in nearly 400 years. From Earth, those two massive gas giants briefly looked like one bright star. You didn't even need a telescope to see it, just a clear sky. But let's be real. In space terms, close is a massive joke. Even on that night, they were separated by hundreds of millions of kilometers of absolutely nothing. Perfectly safe, completely harmless. Just two cosmic neighbors passing in the dark. But what if that gap kept shrinking? What if they locked on and the distance went straight down to zero? Imagine a digital distance clock ticking down right now in the corner of your eye. Millions of kilometers bleeding away. That gap is shrinking. Keep that clock in your head. We're going to need it. One quick thing before the bell rings. Hit subscribe, drop a like. 2 seconds and it tells the algorithm you've got taste for planetary destruction. Let's roll. Let's look at the tail of the tape. Think of this like fight night. In the blue corner, Jupiter, the heavyweight champ. It packs nearly 3 times Saturn's mass and almost double the volume. And it spins ridiculously fast, roughly 13 kilometers per second. That centrifugal force literally flattens its own poles into a visible bulge, a caffeinated wrecking ball. In the other corner, Saturn, rotating at just under 10 kilometers per second. Still incredibly fast, still a monster, but outgunned on paper. Both are almost entirely hydrogen and helium gas. No crust, no rocky surface. Whatever happens won't be a clean impact like two rocks cracking together. It'll be a merge. The way two massive storms swallow each other alive instead of bouncing apart. On paper, this fight is already over. But Saturn isn't walking in with empty hands. Saturn's rings aren't just there to look pretty, they are chock full of debris, an absolute arsenal hiding in plain sight. Hundreds of moons and moonlets are riding inside those two ring systems, surrounded by billions of tons of dust and rock-hard ice. They orbit peacefully right up until Jupiter's monstrous gravity gets close enough. Then, Jupiter violently rips the steering wheel away. All that debris stops circling Saturn. It gets yanked out of orbit and starts falling straight toward Jupiter. It turns into pure ammunition. Millions of frozen rocks accelerating through the void, picking up terrifying speed. None of those moons asked to be part of this fight. They were minding their own business. But gravity doesn't take prisoners. Saturn just turned its own rings into a cosmic shotgun. The question is whether Jupiter even notices. Let's look at the ghost of 1994. If you're old enough, you probably remember seeing this on the evening news. A tiny comet called Shoemaker-Levy 9 wandered a little too close to Jupiter's yard. This comet was barely 2 kilometers wide, a pebble. Jupiter's gravity brutally tore it to pieces before it even arrived. But those tiny fragments slammed into Jupiter with the explosive force of 300 million atomic bombs. 300 million. Jupiter's upper atmosphere spiked to nearly 40,000 degrees Celsius in a jiff. It left massive Earth-sized black bruises on the clouds that lasted for months. That actually happened. Now, do a scale check. Titan is Saturn's largest moon. It has its own thick atmosphere, and Titan is over 2,000 times bigger than that tiny comet ever was. 2,000. A literal world heading straight into a meat grinder. Ouch. If a 2-kilometer rock did that kind of damage, what happens when something 2,000 times bigger comes plunging in? Forget who wins. That part is already decided. Watch what they become. The distance clock ticks down. The gap is gone. The atmospheres touch. Once these two get close enough, they don't bounce. Gas giants don't have a solid surface to smack against. They blend. We are out of the boxing ring and into the chemistry lab. The outer atmospheres mix first. The violent friction of two giants scraping together at tens of thousands of miles an hour triggers unimaginable heat. Top layer temperatures spike hard enough to ignite chemical reactions that literally did not exist in either planet a day before. Suddenly, the chemistry is rewritten. Jupiter starts gaining heavy elements: iron, silicates, massive amounts of water vapor it never had in these quantities. The ammonia and sulfur mix into a boiling stew that probably smells like farts on a cosmic scale. The turbulence spawns continent-sized vortexes tearing across the equator. Eventually, Jupiter doesn't just beat Saturn, it absorbs it. Or most of it. This isn't the first time something like this has happened to Jupiter. And scientists already modeled what it does to a planet's core. Researchers at Sun Yat-sen University actually modeled a true ancient event. Roughly 4.5 billion years ago, a rogue planetary embryo, about 10 times the mass of Earth, slammed head-on into Jupiter. That massive crash destroyed Jupiter's original compact core. It shattered it from the inside out, replacing it with a diluted mix of liquid metallic hydrogen and helium. That damage was just from an object the size of 10 Earths. A full Saturn impact? You're looking at an event roughly 10 times more violent than that ancient crash. The material wouldn't just quietly slide inside and neatly rearrange itself. Trillions of tons of superheated gas and liquid metal would violently scatter out into deep space first. A chaotic blast exploding into the void. Then, slowly, the relentless crush of gravity would pull every last bit of it back together into one single massive object. Welcome to New Jupiter, or Jupiternus. A new planet just got born out of a planetary disaster. But the real question is whether planet is still the right word for what it's about to become. It looks like a planet, glowing faintly at the edges, rotating in absolute dead silence. It might not stay one. Astronomers have a slightly mean nickname for Jupiter that most people ignore: a failed star. Buzzkill, right? But it's not just an insult, it's a compositional fact. Jupiter's makeup is incredibly close to a brown dwarf. It's the exact same recipe of hydrogen and helium, sitting there, just shy of the critical mass threshold that would have lit it up billions of years ago. A sports car missing the spark plug. Enter Jupiternus. This newly merged giant would be far heavier than Jupiter ever was. With all that extra mass comes a terrifying spike in gravity. The internal pressure pressing in on its core from every direction at once would skyrocket. When pressure goes up, temperature goes up. If that internal temperature climbs high enough, it crosses a dangerous line. It enters the territory where nuclear fusion can finally ignite. That is the exact same process that powers every star in the night sky. It just needs enough mass squeezing inward relentlessly until the core simply can't resist anymore. 2 suns in one solar system. What would that actually mean for Earth? Before you push the panic button, let's look at the math. The microscopic interplanetary dust. Any moons that aren't destroyed get recaptured into new orbits. They inherit a completely different gravitational neighborhood overnight. Talk about a rough move. The rest of the solar system's planets subtly shift their orbital math. Why? One less major anchor in the outer system, and one new heavier boss sitting smack dab in the middle of it all. Remember that digital distance clock from the very beginning? It hits zero right here. The gap is closed forever. The collision is over. At least this time, Jupiter didn't go on a full rampage and swallow every planet in the neighborhood. Just the one. Not bad considering its historical track record. If you survived this merge, drop a like and subscribe, because next time, Jupiter might not want to share the solar system. The universe has laws, but we're here to push them to the breaking point. Until then, catch you on the next one.